it's an honor to meet you because you're a very, very big musician. And it's very nice to see you here on this high-end Munich event. How is it to be the picture of this kind of event?
Oh, it's highly unusual. It's highly unexpected. And I'm honored, to say the least. But it's something of a new journey and a new experience. And I'm happy to be a part of it. I mean, recently I have done a project that was released by a very high-end audio label called END-Messe. So they were the ones that introduced me to this possibility.
It's very nice. I think we talked a lot on the event before on 11 o'clock, and you said many things about the music scene now. You said that now we're in a difficult time because of the streaming platforms.
Yeah.
So what do you wish for the future? What could we do?
For it to go away. For it to completely go away, and somehow all of the governments make it illegal. That's what I wish. Because, sure, the record companies are making more than they ever made before because the streaming companies pay them for the usage of their catalog, but they don't share with the artists. And what they share, if there's anything, it's so minute. You'd have to sell 1 million, streams in order to pay a lighting bill. So it's a system that they're getting away with it because there's some technicality in the contract, but it's not fair.
Yeah, definitely.
I wish it would go away, and I wished also something that will never happen again, but sure would be nice to some degree if it would, and that would be record stores coming back.
Yeah, you said it already that the vinyls are coming back. So why do you say that? So did you see it on your tour or on your concert?
No, I've read about it. People tell me that seem to be more in the know about vinyl outselling CDs now, which is the first time ever. So it's somewhat coming back then. I wish it would come back even more.
And for you personally, how can I imagine, how is it in your private house? Like, do you play vinyls? Do you have a big sound system? What is really, really, really new? Or how can I imagine your...
I think over time, what happened was, I think more and more traveling happened as the records continued past 20 records. I just found myself on the road all the time. So there was not a lot of downtime to sit between two giant speakers anymore. So I think on a particular move I made to this house, I didn't even have a stereo setup. I have the speakers, but right now I listen small.
Oh, okay.
And it's not good, but I've become so accustomed to sound on an iPhone, because I have a ton of music on the iPhone, and I put my headphones on or plug into a little speaker. So getting back into, which hopefully this event will get me back into what I used to love, and I was really into high-end audio much younger. So,
but I think it's so crazy. You're a very, very famous musician. And that you talked about that you record your stuff with voice memos, and it's so crazy.
No, I don't. I record the ideas. I don't.
Yeah, the ideas.
I don't release them.
And how can I? How is your working flow with your songs and your recording? So you take many times you make voice messages, and then after...
Well, I do it. I'm not near a writing board. I have a big, kind of like an architect board, and I write out scores. Now, more often I find myself maybe in a hotel room where I don't have that writing capability set up, and I'll just record the ideas. And a lot of times with my band at sound checks, I'll record things that I'm trying, and then I'll write it out if it's working.
I think it's so interesting. How is the process of a record? And you said already that you will publishing a double vinyl this year.
Yeah.
So what can we? What is on it? Like, is it a solo project or is it a?
It started out as the record company was proposed a separate project outside of the contract. That's something I wanted to do to keep busy during the COVID period where there was nothing going on, which was I wanted to make a solo guitar. So I got a nice small budget to do exactly that. But then, because the time home turned into a lot longer than expected, I wrote a lot more, but then half of the music became bigger productions, let's say, more instruments, a lot of which I played. So there's some electric guitar, there's a lot of percussion, there's a lot of keyboard parts and stuff. So it's half and half. There's half solo and half, I would say, production.
Nice. You did the music for over 40 years.
Yeah.
That's huge. So how can you get your motivation now? So I think I know your age, but you look like 4 years old man. You look like a rock star, yes, but you look so fit. So what is your
My wife's 35. I have to keep this charade up. I have to keep the charade going, you know.
So
I have a little 7-year-old now again. So I have a daughter, 35, 25 at 7, and I have many lawyers. But anyway, that's another story.
So your motivation, you do very different kind of music stuff. You already told about it. You talked about it. Like you're a jazz guitarist, very famous jazz guitarist, but you're going on tour with the ManDoki Soulmates. So they're different kind.
Not really. Well, I'm doing this big kind of collaborative thing in August, but I'm not doing the tour.
Oh, okay.
I think the impression is that I'm doing the tour, right? Yeah. Well, he promotes all of these kind of more famous guys doing something with him, and then people don't know if they're getting that when they go see him. Okay. So apparently he has a tour coming up, but I'm going to be so busy with my own stuff I wouldn't be able to do it. I think it's the same with all the other names.
And what is the most important for you? Like you more like to go on tour with bands or your solo project?
No, my solo projects. I mean, yeah. I have, I have an acoustic band and I have also an electric band that I'm going to go out with, which is a rarity. I haven't been doing as much electric, but we're going to go out. We're going to do the hits from my early albums.
And how important is for you the produce time in your studio? So how much time do you spend per month maybe for your producing?
It varies so much. It's not funny. I gave it a 6-month rest, and then I went back in last week and a half ago, and I did. I usually do a day and a day off, and a day off. Because when you record it a whole day, my whole day is not less than 12 hours. Mm-hmm. We don't do 6 or 8 hour sessions. It's like 12, maybe even 14 hours straight. So you're dead the next day, and you really got to take the time to listen and digest it. Listen to it maybe 100 times, and then if I want to listen to it, I keep wanting to listen to it. That's a good sign. If I don't want to listen to it, it means it's not there. That's how that works.
Yeah, it sounds very healthy. I mean,
yeah,
definitely.
If I'm proud of it and I think it's really special, I want to keep hearing it.
Okay.
But it takes a few listens to know if that's going to reoccur or not. Like if after a few listens and it's I'm not going to listen to this anymore. Maybe I'll take another try at it again. But and I've done that. There's one piece in particular I recorded three different lays, and I got it the third time. Now I'm sure.
And you never get bored of your stuff. So Or was there any time in your life that you say, okay, now music is over?
You gotta give it a little rest and then go back to it. The mind also plays tricks on you. It can happen either way. It can happen where I'm not so sure, and then you hear something maybe years later, and you go, "My God, that was great," or the other way around, where you think something is I really love it, and you hear it later, you go, But generally, I'm proud of, where I've brought all music to the certain level that it's at.
I wrote a sentence of you that you said that music is your religion.
Well, yeah, that's what I.
You explained that.
That's what I believe was what gives me strength and what gives me hope and what gets my mind off of all of the things going on in the world, especially these last bunch of years. In America, we have a lot of mass shootings every day. We have the world is on the verge of a World War III. Any minute. So there's a lot of stress and apprehension, and music is this is what saved me during the COVID thing, because I was glued to CNN, a news channel, and I just couldn't believe what was happening to everybody. The whole world. How did this COVID get from China all the way over to like southwestern South America or Alaska? How is that possible? Did it travel in a cloud?
It's crazy.
So to get my mind off of it, it was either the fact I was going to eat like 400 Oreo cookies every night, which I did.
I did the same with
30 pounds. And then I was in pajamas for the whole year,
But pajamas are very nice,
They're very nice, but you don't realize how big you're getting.
Yeah.
Because it's stretched. So then my friend's, unfortunately, his mother passed away. We went to the wake, and I had to put on a suit. And I went, oh, jeez, I can't. I never had a problem with the suit. That's when I realized, okay, I better do like a serious fasting and running on the beach, which is what I did. And I went down to the perfect weight. And that period, or what really saved me, was writing music. Because if I'm not writing up or just reading music, could be someone else's music, it completely takes me away from the problem.
It's like a therapy for you.
Artists. Sure.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it calms me.
Yeah.
It calms me, especially in Florida. I have a room that when I open the doors, I can hear the ocean. So it's good for my tinnitus. I have ringing of the ears really bad. So when you hear, it's so calming, and it kind of takes your attention off of that.
So that's your secret. Yeah. All right. And your favorite band, you said, that's the Beatles, right?
Well, the Beatles, yeah. I mean, what do I like about the Beatles? Everything.
Everything.
Everything. I mean, I think the music, simple music sometimes is even more effective than the most complicated music, because it goes straight to the heart. Deep music requires more of the listener to get involved with it. So it's, I'm known for more complicated music, but I'm a big fan of certain pop music of that level.
So when you have one wish, with which kind of musician do you want to play music on stage?
Well, I would love to say I play with, I mean, I don't know. I played with all the jazz greats. And it was a great honor to do all of what I've done so far. But to do something with a pop guy that I grew up listening to and really adoring, like a Paul McCartney, would be cool.
Or Harry Styles. Maybe a Harry Styles.
I don't know what this guy is. I mean, if he was an ugly guy, would he be popular?
It's a very famous popular musician.
Yeah, but she didn't hear me. If he was an ugly guy, would he be popular?
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, of course.
Not sure.
Definitely. So,
You say that.
I'm definitely.
I'm going to give it a chance.
I'm a rocker girl, but he's I think a very good guy in the pop.
Well, I'm sure he's the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like the other guy, the redhead guy?
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite kind of music, but it's good music and it's a good inspiration for other musicians. I mean.
Well, Elton made a good choice, right? Elton John.
Yeah.
He signed him.
He's a very nice guy. So, yeah, I think it's good to see everyone in this pop scene. I think it's crazy that you see there's one guy on stage and everyone is dreaming in the on a concert. I love that feeling. So it's magic. I mean, music is magic.
Yeah.
Therapy, like you said. So now we are sitting next to the big audio event. So when you're going back on Sunday to your home or to your show, do you want to see all the things on the event, or do you want to buy something for the private?
Yeah, I want to go around.
Yeah,
so I want to see what's happening.
And after your car is full of stuff, or
we leave Monday, I think. Yeah, Monday. So we'll see what happens. I'm carrying with me a lot of my equipment for my tour.
Oh, so now you have a
I have to
big
bring it all
car
back myself because my musicians and tour management are in Europe. But my next tour is in the States with a different crew.
Okay.
So I have to bring everything back myself. Okay. I probably won't be carrying any equipment from it that I might get here. I don't think so.
Yeah, there's everything in these rooms. That's fucking crazy. I'm overstrained after when I'm going there. So now you're in Munich. Can we meet you here private in Munich? Do you want to see something in Munich?
No, I know everything about Munich pretty much. I lived here for 3 years.
You lived 3 years here?
Yeah, my wife was working here, and we married, and we had a reception at Tegernsee.
Oh, the Tegernsee, very nice.
And since I was 19, I had taken all my days off here.
Okay.
At the Bayerische Hall. This was my resting point within tours. If I had 1 or 2 or 3 days off, I'd fly just to rest here. So it was a great town to be understood. You know, everybody spoke English well. Everything was very organized.
Yeah, everything is organized. It's the best sentence.
The German way. Oh, now my
German way.
My life is like that. My life and my
really.
My life because of my wife.
So what can you say about Germany? What is your opinion about this country when we talk about music?
Well, they really embraced the American music, the British music, probably more so than any other country in Europe. And it's become maybe my favorite country to play. The audiences here are great for what I do, you know. And I played so many cities here. Still, I'm hearing of cities I've never heard before. So you can do easily 3-week to 4-week tours in this country, where you can't in France and Italy or any place like that. Germany holds the most possibilities, you know.
And where are the difference between the other countries, like the States?
The States. Okay. I think they would love for me to bring out the electric guitar because that's what they remember. The States was all for the new movement, which was called fusion, mid-70s. And but I had the big acoustic success in Germany in 1980, and they never forgot it. So I took that opportunity and I made several different types of acoustic records that really appealed to the German market, you know.
Crazy.
By blending certain elements, because, you know, you guys were brought up with classical music. American kids don't know anything at all.
Really?
Zero.
Okay. I have everything learned from my dad, so...
Yeah, but you come from a culture that had, you know, where classical music was born and, you know, still thrives somewhat, you know. So in the States, you know, you had jazz because they didn't like it. So it was brought up They were part of a rock and pop. Yeah.
And how important is it to be a musician who is playing different kind of music stuff?
Well, I think it puts me in my own niche. So I have my own niche. I'm not like Clapton. I'm not like these other kind of famous jazz guys. I've created the style and a sound. And, you know, as much as you try to copy someone, when you're starting out, I think I tell kids it's really good to try to copy your heroes, because eventually you'll develop your own voice. But you got to learn from somebody. You have to have someone influence where you want to go. And you're never going to sound exactly like that person, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you can say one sentence to the new generation in a music way, what do you want to say?
Oh, it's too bad you ended it with a music way. Because if you had just said, what do you want to tell a new generation? I'd say, plastic surgery.
You can say anything.
Specializing. No, you have to be very passionate. You know, all the way, 100% passionate to survive and thrive, hopefully thrive, through an era in which the record business is gone.
Yeah, let's see.
You know, when I say it's gone, I mean, I saw the glory days when we sold millions of records. And that's because we had stores, you know, multiple stores, every town. Now they're gone. In America, there's not one.
Really? Okay. I'm growing up in the 90s, so for me, I think all the record stores are opened like, the last 10 years. There was no changing. I lived a long time in Berlin, and my favorite stores are open. So for me,
you have Saturn, and they're in a number of cities, and you have Ludwig Beck in Munich. They're hanging on by a thread.
Great.
I feel they are, because every time I go in there, there's nobody there. But the displays are phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I grew up at a time when we had at least 10 different major chains, like Virgin Records, Tower Records, Sam Goody's, Coconuts, all the one down south, Peachtree Records. And they were all like giant supermarkets and always full of people. They're all gone. They're out of business because of downloads.
So,
and now streaming has made it even.
Yeah, we talked about, but maybe do you see a chance for this scene, the music scene, for the future?
It's going to be harder, you know, because if you have, you know, if it were the mid-'70s and there were the same, let's say the same players I'm seeing now, young guys, they would have record deals. And then that record company would spend money to promote them to a point of popularity. That doesn't exist anymore. That's the sad fact. So now, okay, but now what they have is the ability to promote themselves online. And they have to stay at it. They have to do it themselves, you know, and it's a matter of convincing promoters that he's got an audience. He has no record track record of records or a legacy of his own records. So if you're not a name, you're a great player and people are seeing you online, it's not enough for the promoter to book you. Yeah. So it's different, I think much harder today, you know. But they're out there, and I hear these young players, and sometimes these little Chinese kids are like 2 years old. The most beautiful thing I saw, it was like a guitar trio of kids that were 5 years old playing one of my songs.
Really?
But wickedly perfect. And I sent it to Mike. I have another guitar player in my group, and I sent it to him. I said, now they can play these lines. You got to see, he couldn't believe it. He couldn't play the lines. These kids were playing like super fast.
So cute. Yeah, hopefully.
Chinese. Yeah, they probably don't ever go out. You know, there's no life. You know, strict parents. You learn how we always outdo yours music.
Maybe they can change our word. Maybe. You said that, so I said to you, you're my, it's an honor to meet you because you're one of the most famous jazz guitarists, a jazz guitar musician. But you say that you see you in the first place as a percussionist. And then on the second point, as a guitar musician.
Wow.
Can you explain that? Why do you see that?
Explain that because I do all the percussion on all my records, and I think I was born with a certain ability to play against the time. So I have an inner, like, metronome that, let's say the lower half, which is the foot, is tapping the quarter note, and that quarter note never moves, no matter what kind of. But these offbeats don't influence the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I would tap my foot under the school desk, and I would play rhythms on the top. And for some reason, and I have no idea why I thought this, I could carry this over to my playing, which I did. And I didn't realize then how important that would be, you know. So rhythm is not something you can, in this case, learn. You can learn harmony, you can learn all the other aspects of music. Chord variations, substitutions, scales. But you can't really learn feel.
Yeah.
Or good timing and knowing how to play against the time. You either have it in you or you don't. Now, I've explained this to Cuban musicians who naturally have it. In fact, south more north, no. Okay, wherever that is in the world. You know, you go to Scandinavia, forget about it. You know, you go to northern Japan, nada, you know, or China. But there's something about it, you know, and they agreed with me.
So you see directly if there's a famous musician or not.
Well, they might be famous as something else, but they don't.
Yeah.
But this is, you know, what makes music interesting. And what I think is the first thing that pulls a person is the rhythm.
Yeah, rhythm is very important. So the last question is, we're a rock station. So what is your connection to rock music?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, right from the early days of the Beatles to Rolling Stones to The Who to Moody Blues, Jimi Hendrix, you know, Led Zeppelin, you know, it's all good stuff.
Very good stuff.
You know, they made those records in the 60s. In the 60s, you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have computers, so you had total attention on what you were doing. Today we don't. It's a lot harder to make a record with a whole room full of musicians because they're all looking at their phones. Take a break. A lot of them don't even come into the control room to hear the playback. They go out in the hallway, check their phones, and, you know. It's the focus factor. You know, listen to those records, man, in the 60s. They're amazing. But everybody was focused. You know. Yeah. So today it's more of a challenge to make a record. And I hate to say a little less incentive because it's not now about the sales. It's more about the art.
Yeah.
I make a record for me because I need to, as an artist, get this out. And that's it. And it might cost me, but it has to be done.
Thank you so much. That was great. Really great sentence to the end. It was very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.